You are standing in front of an open refrigerator at midnight. The light hits your face. You scan the shelves. Leftovers. Cheese. Something in a container you don't recognize anymore. You close it. Open it again. And for a moment, you don't know what you actually want to eat. That feeling, that restless, slightly dissatisfied hunger, is older than language. Older than fire. It is the feeling of a body built for a world that no longer exists. Because the food you ate today, whatever it was almost certainly nothing like what your body was designed to run on. Not even close. And the gap between those two things, between what you eat and what your ancestors ate for nearly 2 million years, is quietly responsible for more suffering, more disease, and more confusion than almost anything else in modern life. So what did early humans actually eat before agriculture existed? The answer will probably surprise you. Because it is not what the fitness industry tells you. It is not what your government's food pyramid told you. And it is almost certainly not what you think of when you picture a caveman gnawing on a leg of meat around a fire. The real story is stranger, more varied, and in some ways more humbling than any of the modern myths built around it. Start with the timeline, because scale matters here. Agriculture, the practice of deliberately growing and harvesting food, is roughly 10,000 years old. That sounds ancient. But the genus Homo, the biological lineage that leads to you, has existed for somewhere between 2 and 3 million years. That means for more than 95% of human existence, not a single field was plowed. Not a single seed was intentionally planted. Not a single animal was domesticated. Everything your ancestors ate, they found. They dug for it, tracked it, climbed for it, cracked it open, or pulled it out of the ground with their bare hands. And what they found depended almost entirely on where they were. This is the first thing most people get wrong about early human diets. There was no single diet. Paleoanthropologist Peter Ungar at the University of Arkansas has spent decades studying the fossilized teeth of early hominins, your ancient relatives who walked the earth long before Homo sapiens existed. What he found in those teeth tells a story that no cookbook ever could. The scratches and pits on the enamel, left behind by different food textures, reveal diets that shifted dramatically by season, by region, and by necessity. Some populations ate mostly hard, brittle foods, seeds, dry tubers, tough plant matter. Others showed patterns consistent with soft fruits, leaves, and underground storage organs. There was no paleo template. There was adaptation. Your ancestors were, above all else, opportunists. In the African savanna, where much of early human evolution unfolded, the available food changed with the rains. During wet seasons, fruit was abundant. Figs, berries, wild melons, anything the trees and vines offered. But the dry seasons stripped the landscape bare. And that is when your ancestors turned to something that most people overlook entirely when they imagine prehistoric eating: underground storage organs. USOs, tubers, bulbs, corms, rhizomes, the starchy, calorie-dense parts of plants that grow beneath the surface of the ground and survive droughts that kill everything above them. Researcher Richard Wrangham at Harvard University has argued compellingly that cooked tubers, once fire was controlled around 1 million years ago, may have been the single most important food source in the trajectory of human brain development. Cooking breaks down the tough cell walls in starch, making far more energy available to the body per bite. And energy, specifically glucose, is what a growing human brain runs on. Your brain is roughly 2% of your body weight. It consumes roughly 20% of your calories. That is an extraordinary metabolic demand. And Wrangham's hypothesis, laid out in his book Catching Fire, suggests that without cooked, starchy plant foods, the enormous human brain may never have had the fuel to grow to its current size. So the first major reframe is this: early humans were not primarily meat eaters. They were primarily plant eaters who also ate meat when they could get it. The meat part is real, though, and important. Anthropologist Brianna Pobener at the Smithsonian Institution has studied cut marks on animal bones found at early hominid sites going back more than 2.5 million years. Those marks tell us that early humans were processing animal carcasses, scraping meat off bones, cracking bones open to access the marrow inside. Bone marrow is extraordinarily calorie-dense and rich in fat. Fat that, like the glucose from tubers, is exactly what a developing brain craves. But here is what those cut marks also reveal. The marks of stone tools are often found on top of the tooth marks of large predators. Like